analysis of data with various statistical tools. After collection of data, when it comes to analysis, some researchers actually face some difficulties because we do not have that statistical background, or we actually get scared with the numbers because huge data is collected with the help of various tools, and we get confused that what to do with this data. So there are very simple techniques how we can do this data management and how analysis can be done, how to interpret all the tables and graphs, and after interpretation we have to put it in our thesis in a particular manner. So analyzing data is one of the important aspect of research, and you can see on the screen that earlier there was a research journey without computers. Means we just can't imagine if computers are not there, how to calculate everything just manually. So it was very time consuming process earlier. We used to put all the figures on the chart and on the paper, and we used to analyze all the data with help of mathematical calculations. But right now, there are many apps available, even data collection techniques, tools are available, and with help of those tools, once our data is collected, there are many websites, they support us for data analysis. So I'll be showing you few of them how to go about it, and actual some demonstration after this PPT. So a research journey with computers, for example, if you want to calculate reliability index, is your tool or your test you designed or you developed is reliable or not? So finding out the reliability index is one of the important aspect, and for that you don't have to worry. There are many ready-made reliability index available online, and they are free, and you can use them for your research. So use of ICT, actually information communication technology, is helping us after data collection for typing, formatting, mailing, review, proofing, word count, spelling, grammar, meaning, translation, everything. Some few references, graphical representation of data, and statistical data analysis with help of Excel. Means today I am not going to tell you the big softwares like SPSS or R software. There are many softwares available in the market. With help of those, you can analyze your data. But I will tell you simple techniques. So if you just practice these techniques, you will be able to analyze your data of PhD research. So again, graphical representation is one of the aspects of data analysis. Once we collect the data, when we put it in the table, and we try to make graphs, and with help of those graphs, we can analyze. So analysis is done with the comparison between these graphs of various variables. So we have to correlate, we have to compare these variables, and with help of graphical representation, we can do that. And in Excel also, if numerical data is there, we can do the analysis very efficiently and effectively. As you, all of you might be knowing, various search engines are there. Like we use Google. Most of us are only knowing the Google is the search engine, but there are some other search engines like Yahoo, Bing, AOL, ask.com. So in last few years, Google has attained the ranking of the number one search engine on the net and consistently stayed there. But there are many other search engines where you can get some very important information related to your research. Like All the Web is there, Alta Vista is there, Lycos is there, Gigablast is there, Quill is there. So these are some of the search engines. Just being a researcher, try be little curious and try to find out that what is available regarding my research on these platforms. Because sometimes what happens when I was doing my PhD research, we used to go on Google only, and we used to find out if earlier this kind of research is done in some other state or other country, and we used to try the review of related literature, and based on that literature review, we used to formulate our hypothesis that this kind of research is not done earlier. So my research should be unique. It should be new topic. So we used to take a review online also. But nowadays, other than Google also, there are many search engines where you might get a very good information about your research topic. So some meta search engines are there, like Clusty.com is there, Dogpile.com is there. What Clusty.com does is it actually organizes search results into folders, grouping similar items together, thus giving clustered results. So actually Clusty.com name itself says that it gives a clustered results with a various group folders. Then Dogpile offers search of the general web or images, audio, video, news. Also offers search for yellow pages and white pages. Gets its result from Google, Yahoo, Bing, and Ask. So these are some of the meta search engines. And database, invisible web or deep web. We say that it is like data is like iceberg. We never know that what is hidden inside. Once we get databases, a mammoth resource which are not directly accessible to search engines and directories. So university library sites that require password to access the information. In some universities get it, some universities we don't get it. Then script based pages are there, and this deep web databases actually it can be compared with an iceberg, but estimated at 500 times that of the surface wave. So you can see in the picture that the huge data is available, and for your research, it depends on your sample size. Once you collect the data, you need to go on some web page to actually get what to do with this data. It is very essential to understand that being a researcher, what is my role in data analysis? So there are some invisible web portal with fast service. Means if we just try to find out, like completeplanet.com website is there, answers.com website is there. You just ask any questions and that website will answer you for every question. So why don't we try all this for our research purpose? Means what I found out is a researcher should be very curious to know that what is available on the web regarding my research. And data collection, data analysis is one of the important aspect where we have to search many things. Means when I did my research, nobody taught me that how to do data analysis. Me myself searched many things about data analysis, and I came to a conclusion that instead of using big softwares for data analysis, because if you put your data in SPSS or R softwares or some other softwares, it will give you huge number of tables and huge data, huge graphs. So we get confused that what exactly I have to do with this data. So I'll tell you some simple techniques and just go through all these websites. Completeplanet.com is there. www.answers.com is there, which actually answers all your queries. So Worldwide Science Alliance is there, which actually search across the surface of the internet and drills into databases to mine requested information in the deep web. And I'll tell you, today the portal links to 32 national scientific databases and portals from 44 different countries. And it provides only authoritative scientific information by relevance. Means we must first understand that which one is relevant for my research. Sometimes we get various kinds of data and we come to know that this data is not very much suitable for my research or this is not relevant. So relevance is more important here. And what we have to do is just go through various resources. ERIC, Education Resource Information Center. You might have heard about this site, ERIC, www.eric.ed.gov. And this is actually online digital library of education, research and information. And it is run and sponsored by US Department of Education. And the access is freely available. You can just go on this website, and many researches you will get, and some statistical tools even, because nowadays many websites are providing statistical tools and data collection tools, analysis tools. So this education resources information center, this website looks like this. So just go on this website, put your search item here in the box. As you can see on the screen, that there is a box of search terms. So whatever your research topic is, just put the title or some keywords about your research topic, and find that how the data is analyzed in various researches. Why we should do it? I always tell my PhD students that don't only take literature review for writing review of related literature. Take review for various methodologies, various kinds of data analysis. Because in every research, every researcher has put their data in a unique way. There are many ways to put your data in the thesis, and it actually gives you a real feel of that research, that what researcher has done. Because when we put the table, any table, actually it is a reflection of what exactly you have done. Shall that hypothesis be accepted or rejected? So it depends on your way of putting the data in various tables, your way of putting the graphs in various tables. So it is very essential. There is one more website, that is Alta Vista, wonderful website. It is advanced search setting. You just put the keywords or your title of the research, and you will get wonderful thesis, or we can say research articles. Some educational sites I'm telling you, like Academic Info, education is there, Blue Weben, Education World, Educators Reference Desk, Google's University Search, InfoMind, Padagonet, and SearchEdu. These are some of the useful educational sites which will be useful for conducting your research, and they have various data in various formats. So if you see some other universities formats, you will come to know that which one is creatively put and how I can do it. Because according to the UGC's norms and regulations, our research should be unique, and we should actually interpret our data in a correct way, correct manner. So all these websites actually support us to think in a different way. Thinking out of the box is essential while analyzing your data. So how we do it using MS Excel? Graphs and data analysis is possible using MS Excel. Most of you participants might have used MS Excel for graphical representation and data analysis. So how to go about it? And if your MS Excel does not have data analysis package, how to install it freely? Means you don't have to pay for it. You just have to add in the data analysis package in your Excel sheet. So towards perfection, if you see the figure here, means man's evolution is like we started, and now we are on the similar track, that we are using computers, and we are going towards perfection, I must say. And data analysis can be done with computer literacy. Little computer literacy we need, because if we are techno savvy, data analysis becomes very easy. Those researchers who are not techno savvy, or they are not using technology for analyzing their data, they find it little difficult. Then they have to take somebody else support. Sometimes what happens, some researchers ask some professional to do the data analysis. They give some tables, graphs, and all the interpretation. And being a researcher, if we are not statistically sound, we are not digitally sound, then actually we get confused. And at the time of Viva, we can't answer all the queries regarding data analysis, because that analysis is not done by that particular researcher. So my request to all the participants is, whatever data you will collect or you have collected, please analyze it yourself, because and if you analyze it yourself, you will be able to defend your viva properly with proper answers, because data organization is important. Organizing the data in a very particular manner, we have to create various tables, graph, and after creating tables, graph, we interpret and we come to the conclusion. So main part of your research, that is conclusion of research, is depend on your data analysis. So it is very important, very crucial part. So today we will learn about descriptive and inferential analysis with the help of Microsoft Office Excel. And Excel, any version you might have, you can add in the data analysis tool pack in that, and we can use it for testing the hypothesis, for correlation, for t-test, for ANOVA, for mean, median, mode, standard deviation, anything. With various statistical tools you can use. And as in yesterday's session, I told you about quantitative and qualitative research. If our data is quantitative, Excel sheet, how to use Excel sheet. So you can see in this figure that one person is having a huge data in his hand, and he's saying it's brainstorm from research and development to see you, sir. And he goes to his guide and he tells that it is a brainstorm from research and it is a development to see you. And once we go with this kind of data, you will get confused and your guide will also get confused. So it should be very much organized one, because analysis of data contains data collection, then data display and data reduction simultaneously. Means once we display the data, once we enter the data in Excel sheet, and you have to reduce some part. Reduce in the sense that you cannot put the raw data as it is in your thesis. You have to reduce it into the table. You have to convert it into the table, and after that you come to a conclusion, drawing or verifying. So it is a actual process of data analysis. So how to go about it? How to do it? So there is a add-in option of analysis tool pack in Excel sheet. So click the Microsoft Office button on the left hand side of your Excel sheet, and then Excel options. And after Excel options, I'll actually show you on Excel sheet after completion of this PPT, that on the left hand side on the Office button, it drop down menu comes and you have to select the Excel options. And after Excel options, you can add in there in add-ins option, and in add-ins you have to select the analysis tool pack, the first one. Here you can see on this slide, the first one, that is analysis tool pack, you have to select. And after selecting add-in analysis tool pack and you click on OK, it gets installed, and you can see that tool pack here as a data analysis on the Excel sheet. You can see on the screen that if you go to the Excel sheet, you just click on data, and in the data, there will be a data analysis part here on the right hand side. So it is not visible all the time if you are not installed it. So you have to first install it, and after installation, whenever you open your Excel sheet, in the data tab, the data analysis part will be available. So using Microsoft Excel, simple descriptive statistic can be obtained from Microsoft Excel. Use menu choice like data tab, data analysis, descriptive statistic, and enter details in dialog box. So how to go about it? Actually, I'll show you the actual demo. Using Microsoft Excel, we come to this kind of dialog box. So I'll go and this thing. An Excel output. Actually, what Excel gives us? Excel gives us a table which contains mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variation, skewness, kurtosis, minimum range, maximum range, sum of the all the data collected, and the actual count. Count is the sample, how much sample you have. So effective data analysis involves keeping your eye on the main game, because when we collect the data and we try to analyze it, we must not forget that what is the objective of my research, which are the hypotheses I am analyzing. I accept the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis? It depends on your analysis. So managing your data management is one of the important aspect. Engaging in the actual process of quantitative or qualitative analysis. In quantitative, you can use Excel sheet, and in qualitative, you have to interpret based on the answers of the participants or the sample. So presenting your data is important. Presentation of your data means, have you used graphs? Have you used various colorful graphs? What kind of tables you are using? So it is very, very important. So drawing meaningful conclusion and logical conclusion is one of the important aspects, because once our tables are ready, our graphs are ready, what is important is drawing the meaningful conclusions and very logical conclusions. It is important aspect of data analysis. So what are the quality indicators for data analysis? The main quality element is relevance. Is your analysis relevant? Your statistical tool you have used is relevant? Interpretability, accuracy, and accessibility. These are four main quality elements of data analysis. And an analytical product is relevant if there is an audience who is or will be interested in the result of the study, because your research will be significant for some people. Your research is actually useful for the population you decided for your research. So we have to think on this aspect, that very relevant product you should produce through your research. For the interpretability of an analytical article to be high, the style of writing must suit the intended audience. As well, sufficient details must be provided that another person, if allowed access to the data, so could replicate the results. For an analytical product to be accurate, appropriate methods and tools need to be used to produce the results. So appropriate methods and tools, here it is very important point. For an analytical product to be accessible, it must be available to people for whom the research results would be useful. So let us go to the next point. These are the quality indicators. And being able to do statistic no longer means being able to work with formula. It's much more important for researcher to be familiar with the language and logic of statistic and be competent in the use of statistical software. So what is important here is, being a researcher, I must understand that what kind of language I am using in the interpretation. Because in data analysis, what is important is, if I am actually accepting some hypothesis or I am rejecting the hypothesis. So in both the cases, it should be very logical and it should be based on the scientific way of accepting the hypothesis or rejecting the hypothesis. Means my data analysis should support it. I should have a statistical support for that. Then for the descriptive analysis, the data is analyzed using the measures of central tendency, variability, normality, and probability. Like here, what you have to do is first understand that what you need for your research. Are you going to draw mean, median, mode, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, and how you are going to have graphical representation of that. So for the descriptive analysis, descriptive and inferential analysis are two parts of analyzing any kind of thesis, any kind of research, any kind of data. So the central tendency measures are mean, median, mode. Variability might be standard deviation. Normality is skewness, kurtosis, and probability, like various graphical presentation, we put NPCs, we put normal probability curve, and if the data is queued. So for the inferential analysis, the hypotheses are analyzed using the appropriate statistical techniques. Now, you might have understood the difference between descriptive and inferential. In descriptive, very basic things we try to first understand and we draw a conclusion for mean, median, mode, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis. And in the inferential, we go beyond that. Means with help of that mean, median, mode, what we do is the hypotheses are analyzed using the appropriate statistical techniques like t-test. Why t-test is used? T-test is used to compare two variables. If two variables are there, like male, female, or rural area, urban area, English medium school, Marathi medium school. So if there are two variables and we are going to compare these two, we use t-test. ANOVA is used for comparing three variables. So comparing three variables means if there are three kinds of schools or colleges, for example, unaided, aided college and government college, and you want a significant difference between these data. So you can use ANOVA if there are three variables. Then coefficient of correlation, we also call it as Pearson R, where when we want to uh, actually get a conclusion about correlation, that is Sahasambandha. Shall we correlate to what is the actually relation between two variables? Then we use correlation, Pearson's R, in order to compare various groups for studying the differences and ascertaining relationships. So in descriptive analysis and inferential analysis, descriptive is the basic part where we calculate mean, median, mode, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis. And inferential, we use t-test, ANOVA, coefficient of R and some other statistical tools. So selecting that statistical test, which test you select, that is also essential part. So selecting the right statistical test relies on knowing the nature of your variables, their scale of measurement, their distribution shape. So it is important to understand. If see the actual role of researcher or the situation of researcher, if data is collected and data is there in front of the researcher on the table, and researcher says that if I would known they wanted me to use all this info, I would never have asked for it. Means sometimes what we do is we collect huge data and so many things are there. I have seen some researchers, once they take admission to PhD, they collect this book, that book, those notes, earlier thesis, so many things we collect, and we get confused that what to do with this. And the same situation is at the time of data analysis, that exactly what should I do. So it is very, very, very important. So, my dear friends, whenever you are collecting the data, be very particular about it, and you must understand first that where my data is taking me to, what I am exactly doing. So, these are very, very essential aspects. Let us go on the next slide. Presenting quantitative data. So, how to present? Presenting quantitative data often involves the production of graphs and tables. And you should have a very beautiful graphs. I will actually show the demonstration how to put graphs of your data and how to make tables. So these need to be selectively generated so that they make relevant arguments, informative yet simple, so that they aid readers' understanding. So first, let me tell you qualitative data analysis, QDA we call it. Qualitative data analysis, there is a common reliance on words and images to draw out rich meaning. Means whatever words sample gives you in paragraphs, in images or some information, you have to draw conclusion based on that written information in qualitative. But there is an amazing array of perspectives and techniques for conducting an investigation. You might have heard some artificial intelligence tools now, and what this AI actually help us in graphical presentation and putting some tables. So you can take help of some AI techniques also. And I'll tell you some principles of data analysis. Basic guide to data analysis: analyze, not narrate. It is very, very important. Sometimes our data analysis chapter, descriptive and inferential analysis, is so big that the other person gets confused that what to read and what not to read. So it should be analysis, not narration. Go back to research flowchart. Break down into research objective and research questions. Important, very important aspect. Identify phenomena to be investigated. Means what exactly you are investigating, we must know. Sometimes at the end of the research, we forget that why we are doing this research. What is my objective? What is my motto? What exactly I'm right? I'm in right direction or not in right direction. So we have to understand that. Visualize the expected answers. Validate the answers with data. Don't tell something not supported by data. So don't be biased. What I mean to say is don't be biased. If your data is supporting and if your data is saying that there is significant difference in two variables, so we can accept the hypothesis or we can reject the hypothesis. So your statement should be supported by data. So without support, you cannot have any conclusion. It is very, very important. So these are some of the principles. Then how to use avoid mistakes. We do some mistakes in data analysis. First, read literature on data analysis techniques. It's very, very important. Every researcher should know what is mean, what is median, what is mode, what is probability, what is skewness, what is kurtosis. Please don't ask me question that what is meaning of this, because it is a role of researcher that basic techniques, basic literature about research, basic literature of data analysis I must know. That is what is ANOVA, what is t-test, what is correlation, Pearson's R. So these are very basic things that being researcher we should know the concepts of data analysis. And second is evaluate various techniques that can do similar things with respect to research problem. Various techniques can be used, and with respect to research problem, we can evaluate various techniques. Know what a technique does and what it doesn't. So if I am using t-test, I must know that it is only comparing two variables. It is not comparing three variables. If I want comparison between three variables, then I need to adapt ANOVA. So sometimes we do all the things that t-test, ANOVA, correlation, everything we have to do. So, and there are many other statistical tools as well. So consult people, especially your supervisor or your guide. You have to take consultation. Pilot run the data and evaluate results. It is very essential aspect that once you collect the data, do a pilot study. Directly don't jump on the final tables. Do a pilot study, take few samples data, put it in the Excel sheet, evaluate, come to a conclusion, and if it is giving the right direction or if it is giving the support, real support to your hypothesis, go ahead. And if it is not giving, you have to rethink or for recollection of data. And don't do research. Here this question is very critical. Means what is research? Research is doing searching again and again and again. Don't do research, study. What I mean to say here is in data analysis, study something that will support for your data analysis. Again, one important part in data analysis is graphs. Your graphical representation of data, how you are putting your graphs is very, very essential. Because once you do that, you will get that power. In this Excel sheet, actually, my research data was in the form of rating scale, 5-point rating scale. So I had given 1 mark to the strongly disagree, 2 mark for agree, 3 mark for neutral, 4 for agree, and 5 for strongly agree. So right from strongly disagree to strongly agree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-point rating scale. And what I did is in the Excel sheet, on the left hand side, all the students are here. Means this sheet contains how many number of students are there? 117. 117 number of students are there. And there are some questions. And for every question, there were total 60 questions in my research. I had collected data from, it was for information communication technology awareness my research was. And in that research, I collected data from various schools of SSC board, ICSC, CBSC, IB board, and IGCSE. And I compared it, and the tool used was rating scale, 5-point rating scale. You can use your own tool. Yesterday I told you various tools which we can use. You can have your observation sheet, checklist, some questionnaire, multiple choice questions, whatever. And for the answers of every question, you can assign some points or some marks. And I assigned 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 point for uh, disagree, strongly disagree, 0.1, and strongly agree, 0.5. So in 5-point rating scale, you can see student 1, and this is question number 1. If student has given the answer agree, that means here I have given 4 points. Student has given strongly agree, I have given 5 points. So likewise, this data sheet is filled. I think you understood how to put basic data. This is very basic raw data, that once my questionnaire is filled, once my tool is filled by the samples, and I collect all the questionnaires, answer sheets, and I make a Excel sheet out of that. So this is the basic sheet I make. Then after basic sheet, what I do is I go to the next sheet, that is reliability indicator. What you have to do is go on Google and type reliability calculator. So you will get many reliability calculators for that. For my research, I have used Dale Sigel's reliability calculator. This is available on DSIEGLE @uconn.edu. This was the email ID of Dale Sigel, and it was created by him. And reliability calculator I downloaded from Google. Go on the Google and just type reliability calculator. You will get many reliability calculators. I used Cronbach's alpha. Then split up correlations, you will get Spearman Brown prophecy, you get mean for test, you get standard deviation for test, you get. And what you have to do, the earlier sheet I showed you, the basic raw data sheet, just copy that Excel sheet and paste here in this. After pasting, what you will do, I'll actually show you. So I'll again go to that pilot sheet, data sheet. I will just randomly select some points or some data. I'll copy it. After copying, I'll come to this reliability calculator and I enter. What I did, I just pasted the data I collected in my study. And what happened? You can see I just selected questions 18 and subject 28. Subject is number of students, number of sample. And here you can Cronbach alpha is 0.82, split half correlation is 0.64. It took only 1 second to calculate all this. You don't have to calculate manually. Spearman Brown mean for test is 72.46, standard deviation is 9.22, KR21 3.78, KR20 is 3.82. So I get all these values, all these figures by just using this reliability calculator, and it gives me all the coefficients. And after getting this data, what I will do is I will actually again go to the table, that what that table tells me. And if table tells that this is significant or this is reliable, 0.82 Cronbach's alpha is actually significant. So we have to just use the various tools. And my dear friends, this is just for reliability calculator. I'll show you how to get the t-test, how ANOVA we can do, how correlation we can use in Excel sheet. But for that, we need to understand that how to select that sheet. Means basic sheet we have to make first. The first important step in data analysis is collect all your data sheets and make a simple Excel sheet out of it. Means you can put all the questions in the horizontal direction, and vertically you can put all the students or all the sample, whatever sample, teacher, student, whatever it has. and make a complete one Excel sheet of it. That's it. So you might have used multiple transcription, rating scale, checklist, interview scale, whatever it is, and put numbering question answer, and those numbers you have to put in one Excel sheet. And with the help of that sheet, you can actually calculate the reliability indicator of your tool. And reliability is calculated with help of any reliability calculator. There are many reliability calculators available. If you get confused that this reliability calculator is authentic or not, you can use two reliability calculators and compare that, bring the similar result. And Cronbach's Alpha Dale Sigel's reliability calculator is freely available. Just download it from Google and you can use it for your research to calculate the reliability index of your research tool. So this was the first part of data analysis. Then let us go to the next. You can see there is an option of file here on the left hand side. In the file, if you go down in the Excel sheet, there is more option, and is in there more option. There is options. Means in file, you have to find the options part. Click on it. After clicking on options, there is an option of add-ins. If you go on this toolbar, add-ins, click on add-ins, and here is the first part, that is analysis tool pack. So click on this analysis tool pack, active application add-ins. There are analysis tool pack, VBA, date XML. There are many options available in add-ins. So add this one first one, analysis tool pack, and you have to say go. Once you say go, this kind of window will appear, and you have to again click on analysis tool pack. And once you click on OK, the data analysis tool pack will appear in your Excel sheet, and where you can see, go on the Excel sheet, click on the data, and after clicking on data, see at the right hand side here, data analysis part is there. So in this Excel sheet, I'm clicking on the data tab, and in the data tab on right hand side here, data analysis is installed. It is a data analysis tool. So my dear friends, if you want to do an analysis of your data, use this data analysis pack. This is a very wonderful tool. Once I click on it, it will show analysis tools like ANOVA, factor, ANOVA, correlation, covariance, descriptive statistic, exponential statistics, t-test, z-test, regression, anything, histogram, many things are available. I'll again show you how to install this. So first, and let me cancel this first. Go on the file, open any Excel sheet, go on the file, go in more, clicking more, you will get options. Click on the options. After clicking on options, Excel option window will appear. In Excel options, go on the add-ins. In add-ins, there is analysis tool pack option is there. Click on analysis tool pack and click on go. After clicking on go, actually your tool pack will get installed. And after installation, you can again go to the Excel sheet, click on the data tab, and here data analysis tool pack is available. Now let us see that how it works. What you have to do is, you have already created Excel sheet, and after creating Excel sheet, there is a mean, median, mode, descriptive analysis part is there. So let me take you to that Excel sheet again. I just closed that. Let me go to that. Okay. So reliability calculator, t-test. Okay. So this is a sheet of pilot study. I'm again sharing the sheet of pilot study. So this sheet is there. This is the basic raw sheet. I think this you might have understood that how to make this Excel sheet. So what you have to do is, go on the data tab, go in the data analysis, and in data analysis, there is a descriptive analysis. Click on descriptive analysis, click on OK, and input range you have to put. Input range means what uh, data you want to analyze in descriptive way. So I'm just selecting this part till question number 15 and 15 students. Okay, so I have selected this. After selection, again go to that tab and you can click here on labels in first row. Output range you have to give that where you want this table. You can have it in other sheet, sheet number 2, or you can have it on same sheet. So I'm taking the sheet 2. I'm clicking here and here that descriptive statistic will come. And you can click on summary statistic. Okay. And click on OK. Output range should be go here, click here and click on OK. New worksheet. It is showing the syntax name is incorrect. So let me click on summary 6 output range. In output range, what I will do is okay. It is asking to overwrite. I'm not allowing it to overwrite. So just let me go to the downwards of this sheet and let me select one part. Okay. Then go here. Okay. And once I click OK, it will give me this huge table. You can see mean, median, standard deviation, mode. What I did, I just click on that. It is giving me mean, standard error, median, mode, standard deviation, sample variances, kurtosis, skewness of all the data I selected. So isn't it wonderful that in only one click you get this table? And what you have to do is you have to go to the descriptive analysis part, mean, median, mode. You can select from here and you can just copy and you can put it in the table. So this is for descriptive analysis, the mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Now what we will do is if we want to calculate t-test or correlation or any other like ANOVA, then we will use only mean part. You have to select a mean, means I will select the mean of all the data and I'll make this kind of table. I'll take you to the t-test part. So you can see here on the table, I have written the hypothesis. There is participants can see, okay, there is no difference in the students with respect to gender. So I have here what male and 2 columns I have taken. And which figures are these? 62, 70, 75. These are mean score of male student. If I have collected data from 100 students, 200 students or 500 students, this is a mean score of male and this is a mean score of female. Now, how to calculate t-test? Already this table is taken by me. I'll again tell you for your reference. Let us take a small part of it. We will not take whole data, huge data. Just go to the data analysis again and click on t-test. Here, if you go down, t-test. Take the first one only, pair 2 sample for means. Okay. And it will ask you for variable 1 range, variable 2 range because in t-test we are comparing two variables. For my hypothesis, gender is there. So male and female, I am comparing two variables. So I will take the first variable range here. I'll select this. I'll just select the 15 students. Okay. And for second range, I'll select the, but for your analysis, you have to take the whole. For example, only I'm showing you this. So range of male and female and output range you have to do. What is output range? Output range is on Excel sheet where you want this table. So I am just clicking randomly here on right hand side, and this is my output range. So my table will appear on the right hand side of Excel sheet. And if I click OK, see, within fraction of second, it gives me t-test value. So in this table on right hand side, you can see, I'll make it colorful so you will understand that this table is made right now. Okay. So this red color box, red color digits. So t-test mean is shown variable 1 and variable 2. What is variable 1? Variable 1 is male and variable 2 is female. So mean score, variance, observation, Pearson correlation is minus 0.15. Hypothesis mean DFT, that is statistics. Here T is 1.20. If my T is 1.68, more than 1.68, it is significant according to the table. If it is less than 1.68, so T statistic table you have to see. You can see the P value, it is 0.25, and you can get a inference from this or interpretation from this that if my t-test or is significant or not, and shall I accept or not accept the hypothesis. The hypothesis shall be rejected or accepted will depend on the value we get in t-test. So this is very simple. So hypothesis 2 in my research, it says there is no significant difference in awareness about the internet of secondary students with respect to types ICSE, CBSE and SSE. So I am comparing in this hypothesis my three variables, that is school type, ICSE, CBSE and SSE, and I want to calculate ANOVA. ANOVA is comparison of three variables. So I have put the data of ICSE, CBSE and SSE in the table you can see here, and number of students were there, more than 100. So for the sake of example, I will take few students, for 4, 5 or 10 students for as example, and I'll show you how to calculate ANOVA. So here, what is this ICSE score? These are mean score of ICSE. Means is average score of ICSE students' answers. Then CBSE and SSE. So how to again calculate the ANOVA? You just put the table here, go on the data tab, go on the data analysis and select the ANOVA. In this box, there is ANOVA. So I have two factors with relation to this school type and secondary students. So you just select the ANOVA and selecting the range. So this will be my range, 15 students. And where I want it, till click on the output range. Don't worry about other things in the table. Just input range and output range you have to select. And output range is where I want this table. I am just selecting the right hand side of the table. And it is giving me the table immediately. Okay. Showing me some. Just let me do it again. Two factor without replication. They are not replica. So they are without replication. So I'm just taking this data. Then output range. I'll select this output range here and I'll click on OK, and it will give me output range. You can see the table is appeared on the right hand side. I will give it color, so you will come to know that this table, I got it right now. So you just have to see two factor without replication, and 5 rows I had selected. It gives me summary report and it gives me ANOVA. So rows, column, error, total, SS is given, DF is given, MS is given, F is given, P value and F critical. So we will actually see the P value and p-value is seen in the p table of ANOVA, and we have to draw a conclusion that it is significant or not significant. So this is about ANOVA. Let us now go to the correlation part. So this is the screen of correlation, and in this you can see when we want to correlate, we need two groups. Again, these two groups, and group one is awareness about internet and group two is perceived impact of ICT on academic performance. And Pearson coefficient of correlation you will get immediately. So these are some groups I have made after my data collection. These are mean score, and what I have to do is again go on the data tab in Excel sheet, go on the data analysis and click on correlation. After clicking on correlation, you have to view input range, you have to view output range, and you have to click on OK. So after clicking OK, you will get the actual correlation table. So here on the right hand side, okay, we'll do it. Data analysis, correlation, okay. Input range, I just want to take these two, group 1, group 2 data. Then output range, I will give randomly on the right hand side of this table. Okay, here. And I'll click on OK. After clicking on OK, this table is appeared on right hand side. And you can see, I will give it color. So you will come to know. Okay. So this actually gives me 0.67 value. So I have to decide that this correlation is significant, or what is the correlation, positive or negative correlation in my two groups or two variables. So my dear friends, while collecting or analyzing the data, what we have to do is just go on the Excel sheet and you can do the analysis very wonderfully. I'll show the Excel sheet again and I'll tell you how to go about it. The first one we saw, that is reliability calculator. In reliability calculator, you will get various values like, so this kind of sheet you can download from Google, reliability calculator from created by Dale Siegel. And in this blank sheet here, blue color sheet is there. In that blue color sheet, you can actually paste your students' data. So what I'll do is I'll go to any sheet, Excel sheet I have created. I will copy the data from that sheet. Okay. Just on the other sheet, I think that sheet might be not visible to all of you because I have shared the reliability index sheet. I'm just copying the data from a sheet. It is copied and I again come to this sheet and I paste, copy and paste. So there were 11 questions, 15 students or subjects, and I get the value of Cronbach's alpha 0.57, split half correlation 0.41, mean test, standard deviation test. Now, how to analyze this? How to take a meaning of this? So for that, let me take you to the Google again. And on Google, if you put t-test table, you get these kind of tables. Just take any table of any university, and in t-test, it shows that one tail or two tail, 0.501, what is the significant level, everything you will come to know. This confidence level. So these kind of tables are available, and with help of your supervisor or your guide, you have to, and you can see here students t table, free downloadable tables are there, t distribution tables are there. So we can use all these tables. And for reliability calculator, if I type here reliability indicator, specifically if I want Dale Siegel. So it will take me to the Dale Siegel. Some tests are there. Reliability and validity concept map is there, and indicators you will get. There are some single reliability calculators, Excel sheet, Cronbach's Alpha. So you can just download any of the calculator. I already showed you. So this kind of calculator is available, reliability calculator created by Dale Siegel, and it gives all these numbers immediately on one click, and you can actually use it for your research purpose. Then let us see the other parts also. Let me take you to the Google again. So on this Google sheet, if I want to see ANOVA, very simple techniques I am telling you, means if you don't know how to see that table and test of hypothesis means, so there are ANOVA tests available, and it will show that how actually it gets calculated, what should be value, what value is significant. And my dear friends, in only one session, I cannot explain everything about data analysis. It's a huge topic. There are many things we can think of. And ANOVA, here you can see some examples. ANOVA explained by example, that how to see the value, how to interpret, how to do the graphical representation. So these tests are available. Now let me tell you that how we can put the graphs with help of Excel sheet. So I'm again sharing the Excel sheet with you, because inferential analysis, descriptive analysis, and graphs is also an important part. So I'm just deselecting it. Go on the home page, and here you can see insert option. In insert, there is a chart option here. So I'm just selecting this simple chart, bar graph. Okay. So this graph immediately, means I have selected some samples and this chart is there. I'll do undo. We will take a small data. This one. I'll copy this. I will again go in the insert. In insert, go on the chart, and it will give you this kind of graph, this kind of chart. How many minutes it took? Just 1 minute. And you can put the title to the chart. You can put the series 1, series 2, series 3, or whatever way you want to do it. Or if I want a pie chart or some other kind of charts, again I will go in the insert, then this pie chart, and I can have this kind of chart. So my data was about some students, student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 11. So every student's analysis, it will show in different colors. If I want some other graph, what you have to do is go on the Excel sheet, select the data. After selecting the data, go in insert and go on the chart and select any kind of graph. It will give all these kind of graphs. Isn't it wonderful? If I just want two columns, these 2 columns graph, and I have copied this. I'll again go in the insert. I'll select the kind of, if I want a line graph, it will give me a line graph like this. If I want some other kind of graph chart, and I can do the chart type. These are the types. We can change the chart type if we want. Then we have some custom graphs also like this. It will show you actual movement of your data. Then we have this kind of graph also. Means make it more precise, make it more wonderful, make it more colorful, and you can have your research in a unique way, my dear friends. This kind of chart is also available. Just select the data and put it. So this is available. You can use this kind of graph also. Okay. So three important aspects of data analysis. First is inferential analysis. In inferential, mean, median, mode, standard deviation. You don't have to worry about the formulas. You don't have to worry that how to calculate which formula to use. Just enable the data analysis tool pack in your Excel sheet. It is freely available. Go in the options, go in the add-ins, select the tool pack, analysis tool pack, get it installed in your Excel, and you will get wonderful descriptive statistic table ready-made. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, everything in a single table. Put that table in your thesis part in the data analysis as a descriptive analysis. Then think of what kind of inferential analysis you want to do. You want to calculate the t-test, you want to have ANOVA, correlation, Pearson's R, or anything else. And as per the need of your data, as per the need of your variables, calculate that, put it in the table, go to the various tables that how to analyze it, how to take meaning of it, how to interpret it. There are many softwares, websites available. I showed you some of the search engines and some website details also in earlier PPT that these search engines are there and you can go see the references of other researchers, how they have put the data. After inferential analysis, graphical representation is important in data analysis. So it's very simple. In Excel sheet, go in the insert part, go in the graphs and chart, and you can insert any kind of graph. But for that, initially, you have to select the data sheet. If you want a sheet for small numbers or for whole thing, you can create a graph of any particular data, any raw data, just within a fraction of seconds. You just select the data, insert the graph, and the graph is available. Give the name to the graph, and you can interpret that this line graph or bar graph or pie chart, whatever way you want, insert it in your data analysis and interpret it that it is significant or not significant. How to select or reject hypothesis tables, study it. My dear friends, study is the most important aspect here. Means no researcher, no guide can tell each and everything. It is a student's role actually to see that what is applicable to my research and what I know about data analysis. The basic concepts that how to do infer the hypothesis, how to reject it, how to select it, how to see the table, how to insert it, how to calculate it. Calculation part is made easy by Excel sheet. Calculation part is made easy by many other tools. Nowadays, artificial intelligence is actually helping us. Like ChatGPT is there for some descriptive part. When with help of artificial intelligence and some IoT devices, we can actually use ChatGPT. You might have heard about it. Nowadays, it is actually making tahelka in the world of information. That you just put the keywords and it will give paragraphs about everything. So just ask it and you will give. Go on the ask.com website, ask any question and you will get the answer. So nowadays, doing research and doing analysis is very easy. But being a researcher, we must first understand that what is exactly my role to understand various. There are various statistical tools, but being a research, my role is my need is this. Means my hypothesis is this. I have null hypothesis or some directional hypothesis. If I want a support for this hypothesis, that this hypothesis should be accepted or rejected. It depends on the values you get out of your data analysis. So it is very, very essential to understand it. My presentation is done. Thank you.